Hi everyone, welcome to Trax Gaming and welcome to yet another video. We started the series, Mission Longboi has started. You all received the profile. If you didn't, hit that video in the top right corner. It will lead you to the profile that we are using right now. Now, you all voted Alchemy is the first profession that we are going to tackle on, that we're going to do a deep dive into how to set it up and how I and Mrs. will use it in our advantage to earn as much gold as we can. Now, first of all, you have the custom price sources. You see Alchemy is 1.7/1.7. I preferably don't use this. Why? Because we farm our items. If I go into this and I remove this, I will show you how we use it for ourselves. So I'm going to remove the 1.7 rate. Now this is my account. Miss has all the rank trees. But if you go to operations, so I remove this from the custom sources. If I go into the operations and I go to the crafting operations on Alchemy, you see here, override default craft value method 1.7. I can now disable this because I'm not using it. For myself, I like to use or like to switch up any item that we farm or for some reason we have a different value. Like for the explosives, you have a custom price. If I go to the herbs and I go to Siren's Pollen, oh, I have to go to materials. Siren's Pollen. So this is the default material cost string from TSM. So it's going to see the minimum price, DB market, crafting, vendor buy, or convert. Now this is coming from DB market. You can fill in average buy as well. AVG buy, like you see on a lot of strings. If you buy out your Siren's Pollen, please type in average buy. Now, what you see online, so on average, if you craft 100 potions or flasks, anything involved with the Sila's proc rate, don't forget you have to have the tools of the trade and rank trees in order to use this correctly. If I say for every 100 potions you craft, you will receive 170 in return because of the crafting buff. So if we are going to divide these 100 with 170, that means we are using 0.85, 82, 35, 29% of the value of that herb. Let's round this up to a comfortable number. That means if you're using Sila's proc, you're going to use this. 60. It changed from 6 gold and a little bit to 3 gold 98. So I will remove it again. 649. Sila's proc. 3 gold 89. I'm gonna switch it back one more time. I'm gonna show you my values. Remember, these are rank 2s. So this is not gonna work on my alchemist. If you see, there's just a few green items in here. And that's it. All the rest is red. Let me go again. Let me switch all herbs to Sila's proc. 0.16. So Disenchanting is the last one to change. If I go back to crafting, you see a few more green items in there. Remember, I don't have rank 3s. I already can make stuff with a profit. If I had Silas, the Silas Proc, and I would have rank 3s, I would make a lot more profit. I saw a comment last time on enchanting. If I see the profit rate that you have on your enchanting, true, but we shuffle. That means we are going to determine a price. Therefore, what we do with alchemy, we actually farm our herbs. Now, this is not for everyone. Not everyone wants to farm herbs. But in our case, we are going to lower this even more. Silas Proc, and then actually just 50% of the flower's price. That means the Siren's pollen is only costing us like 2 gold to use in our crafting. Let's lower everything more. Riverbud. Go to Sea Stalk. Let's put Sea Stalk at 30. Let's go Star Moss. Star Moss at 30. Akunda's Bite at 30. Let's go Anchorweed. Set it on 30. And then one more Zinantide. Let's put it on 30 as well. I hope I don't forget any flowers, but here goes. If we farm our herbs and we use the Silas Proc, even more will be cheap. I'm gonna let you show a picture of Miss Her Alchemist. You see now, almost everything sells with a profit. And not just any profit, we can go a reasonable amount below minimum buyout. When you queue now, TSM will know exactly how much it's going to cost you because you can now read it from your profession screen. So I'm not a fan of 1.7 because every time I want to switch up my groups, I would now have to change, well, have to add an operation like I had for alchemy. So I need to copy it, switch the values. If I want to do a quick change now, I can just select one of the operations. It's easy, it's fast. I can use any of the crafting operations, and I can also just use simply, in this case, I can go with tracks, minimum, normal, maximum for alchemy as well. Because now I don't have the 1.7 behind the crafting. I also do not have it anymore in the groups. This is something you have to determine for yourself. If we look at combat potions, you will find, okay, maybe this is a lot. 120 combat potions. If you find this too much, click away the override. Select something else. I want to do 20 potions. Select it for yourself. You can choose it. Just remember, if you want to make another amount than the alchemy ones, or what you can do is copy that operation by going to the operation, click alchemy, duplicate, change the restock quantity, and for you this will read /1.7. So if you decide to use the Silas Proc, remember, do something about this. If you want to use our method and you want to farm some stuff. Like for example, 1.7 will only determine your Silas Proc rate. If you farm, what we do sometimes, well, we don't use it sometimes. We also buy a lot of Anchorweed. So what we are going to do with Anchorweed, for Anchorweed, we are going to use average by Silas Proc. I probably haven't bought any on my account. That's why no value comes up. I haven't bought anchorweed on my account. So I'm gonna switch back, take this again, put it in there. Anchorweed. If I want to buy it, let's put it at 60. That will be the price for anchorweed used in any of your crafts. That's how you set it up. So now everything is back in order except for my custom sources. I still have to do that. I will do that after the video. Let's take a closer look again. So this will list you 100 potions. 5 stacks of 20, 4 stacks of 5. And I deleted it, but it was on 120. So 20 here, 100 here, 120 crafting. You don't have to remove this. Just remember, it will always do the first operation you put in here. So first it's going to try to list 4 stacks of 5, and after that it will list 5 stacks of 20. So if you make 40 potions and you expect them to be listed in 2 stacks of 20, remove the top one. Same goes for flasks. 5 stacks of 3. This is rate related. People need average guild rates 3 hours a night. 3 flasks. Easy. People look up on stacks of 3 because they need 3. That's how you sell. And also 4 stacks of 5. I think Miss also queues 1 stack of 20. So you have to raise that value or lower it depending on what you want. Same for utility potions. We do 4 stacks of 5. We queue 20. If those 20 are sold, we are going to craft them back. If 5 sold, we're going to craft 5 back. It will queue 20 maximum. That's the restock. If you sell 5, it's going to queue 5. If you sell 10, you hit this crafting 20 queue, it's still going to queue 10 of the potions. Trinkets, 5, and then follower equipment, you can put this on 1. It's better to put this on 1. If you're not sure about the trinkets, put this on 1. There's nothing wrong with it. You can queue more, and you can say, okay, up to 10 stacks of 1. You can queue whatever you want to. You can choose 200 if you want to. It doesn't matter. So this is basically how to set this up. This goes for every profession. The only thing you need to remember, if you don't see a crafting cost behind the items, especially on weapons, if we look at other professions like cooking or anything that's that requires a looted soulbound item. What is a looted soulbound item? It's not your gear. We're talking about Expulsum. We're talking about Sanguicell, Breath of Bonswamdi, Hydro Core, Tidal Core, and then if we switch back to Legion, Blood of Sargeras. You go to Crafting Report, go to Materials. You can go with Expulsum. If you use a shuffle, any shuffle, you may have seen it from another YouTuber. Please go ahead and choose it. From the videos I made, this one right here in the corner right now, Disenchanting, how shuffles destroy Disenchanting. You will find my formula using the Tide Spray Linen Shuffle, and if you use this link above, you will find one for doing it with leatherworking. If you do not shuffle and you obtain your Expulsum from the world quests, or just by scrapping armor pieces that you looted, just put in a fixed number. If you want your Expulsum to cost 50 gold, go ahead. If you want it to cost 1,000 gold, go ahead. Just make sure you make profit, otherwise it's not gonna queue in the crafting list. You have to do the same for Sanguisil. Mine is at 50 gold. We have to do the same for Hydrocore, which is at 50 gold. Tidal Core, Tidal Core, which is at 50 gold. Breath of Bone Swamdi, which is at 50 gold. And then Blood of Sargeras is at 75 gold for me. If you don't set these up, you are never ever going to get to queue them, because it will not show these. Let's see if we have, yes, we have items that use Expulsum. So we have an item using Expulsum. My Expulsum has now a material cost. You can see it on the bottom of the tooltip. I'm not in the way. Just above my character's name and how much Expulsum they have at the moment is material cost, 157 gold. In my case, I use the Tide Spray Linen Shuffle, which is decided on the average buy price of Tide Spray Linen on my server. That is how you set it up. It's pretty easy. Sanguinated Alchemist Stone is buying on pickup. That means it's soulbound. That's why it doesn't have a material cost. That's how you set it up. Then for other things, I'm just gonna switch these. So what are a lot of people going to do? We are not going to create Expulsum. What is everyone using Alchemist? What should you do is putting herbs into Anchor Weed. You will receive Anchor Weeds by doing this transmute. What is important as soon as you, I think it's around skill level 300, I think you can do it more early now with the revamp. You have to go with Potion Master, Elixir Master, or Transmutation Master. If you use Potion Master, you are going to create more potions. You're going to have a bonus proc by itself. Elixir Master is going to do it for flasks and elixirs. But Transmute Master is going to do this for transmutations. I have a few here. We have Primal Earth to Water, which is probably the most profitable of all transmutes. A Primal Earth right now, minimum buyout on my server is 10 gold, market value 33, and region market value is 61. Primal Water, minimum buyout 1,200 gold, because somebody probably flipped it, or like you see, there are only 2 auctions available. Market value 256 and region market 354. So let's create this. Normally you should get 1, and I got 1. Yesterday I got 3. This works as well on the transmute of Trillium Bar. I'm not gonna do the Trillium Bar one right now, because I'm actually doing this for my Sky Golem. Last time I did it, I got 2. Another one that's very important is True Gold. This is an old one, it's still an active one. True Gold is 3,800 gold minimum buyout right now on my server. Market value was even higher. It's not costing you a lot to make, just some volatile fire, volatile water, volatile earth, and some Pyrium bars. Volatiles are easily farmed. Even Pyrium is kind of easy to farm. It's not so rare. Transmute True Gold. It's the only way you can get True Gold, by the way. This is a very nice flip. So if you want to know exactly what all these transmutes are, just type in transmute. You will find these. You have Titanium, Majestic Zircon, King's Amber, which is also used in a lot of legacy craftings. You have Fire to Mana, Life to Earth. Nobody's going to do these. Primal Fire on a lot of servers is quite expensive, and Mana is mostly cheaper. Life to Earth, of course not. Earth is the cheapest one to make. You see, I don't have all transmutes. I just learned Primal Fire to mana on this character. I have another one who has more. Transmute Arcanite bars is the same. Arcane Crystal and Thorium bar. Just remember you can do almost like one transmute for each expansion. So here you have Pyrium bar. You can make it with Elementium and Volatile Earth, but that means you are not going to be able, if you do this one, cooldown resets daily. I don't think I can even make this one. Yeah, I can make it. Cooldown resets daily. I haven't done one of these. So don't forget your herbs to anchor, and then just the other transmutes. I don't think they show up if I do this on TSM and then type in transmute. Only the direct ones. If you need multiple items or the soulbound, I'm not sure it's going to give you, like here. It's not going to give you those from Zandalari. Pandaria, they show up. Primordial Ruby, River's Heart, Sun Radiance, Wild Jade. Pyrium bar shows up. Shadow Spirit Diamond is used on a lot of legacy stuff as well. True Gold is in here. Shadow Spirit Diamond is probably just this more expensive because it's scarce on the auction house. You can see it in the sale rate 0.03 and 0.08. So a lot more True Gold will be sold. Primal Earth to Primal Water. See this? That's a lot of profit. Arcanite, don't forget about that one as well. These are things to remember when you do alchemy. What else do we use from alchemy? What is selling? Potions of treasure finding. I always have a few on me whenever I go farming in Cataclysm. You're gonna get chests, and in those chests you will find amber silk, volatiles, armor, Pyrium bars, Elementium bars, obsidian ore, by the way. It's not bars. You're not gonna find bars in there. What else is still selling? Where is it? Potion of Prolonged Power is one that is also selling. So Potion of Prolonged Power still sells. And that's why my Blood of Sargeras is still, it has a material cost. Another one, Fire Ammonite Oil, and normally the normal, oh, this is Warlords. Sorry, let's scroll down. Ghost Dye, Goblin Rocket Fuel, used on a lot of legacy stuff, is also stuff that sells frequently, even though they have a low sale rate. Where are the other ones? Here. Black Mount Oil, Fire Oil, Shadow Oil, that kind of stuff is used in a lot of like tailoring things. So use it in your advantage. It will queue if you set up TSM with the new profile. It will queue if it allows you to make profit. If I queue Alchemy now, I probably don't get to see any of the BFA profession because Myth is doing this already. You can see here. I queued it. What did we have from Zenlar? Oh yeah, just a few potions. That's because Miss slimmed down the groups a little bit, and she's not even up to date with agility, intellect, strength, with battle potions. You don't see a lot of flasks in here. But hey, if I buy out everything, I'm gonna make profit. But it's not 100% correctly because alchemy, we use the farming material cost, so it's on 0.30. So this is not 100% correct. If I remove the clear queue and I don't select BFA and I do a restock, I will see Black Mountain Oil, Mercial Stone, Invisibility Potions, and Transmorphic Tinctures. So I think that's all you need to know from alchemy. I know this is very boring stuff, but if you set it up correctly, it will benefit you a lot. You will earn a lot of gold if you set something up correctly. And I know it takes a while to set it up, first of all correctly, and then second of all to get into the routine of buying, crafting, posting, and using this every time again. Another important thing, I can't forget about that. We're using crystal veils. Crystal veils vendor price is 8 copper. If we go to crafting reports, we go to the crystal veil, it is 8 copper to buy one. But the default is minimum DB market crafting vendor buy convert. You can just go 8 copper. If you never open the vendor and you leave it on default, it is actually going to show you how much it costs from the auction house. Minimum buyout is 4 gold 44. So every time you queue, it is going to say, okay, it's 4 gold 44 unless you opened the vendor this way with the TSM vendor window. But you cannot do what I just did. If you do it for the first time, don't do this. Okay, TSM reads it. No, it's gonna read it when you open the vendor. Now it's gonna read it. And now when it goes to buy, it will remember it is 8 silver. 8 copper. Not when you open it this way and then change it. You have to open it in TSM window in order to find it. A lot of professions use a lot of stuff from the vendor. Threads, inks, no, not inks, vellums, dyes for tailoring, just stupid things like right now in BFA, a lot of vendor stuff is used like insulated wiring and blasting caps and stuff for cooking. I know a lot of people sell these vendor mats on the auction house and you will get success with it. I do as well. But just make sure it's not in your crafting price involved. So that's it for Alchemy. I hope this was useful. I hope you set it up correctly so it will benefit you. Choose if you want to go with custom source price 1.7 or you want to put in the Sila's Proc as I showed you. And that is all you need to know, I think. So just gonna switch this up for when I do future uploads, then it's all in there. That was the default because it's easy to use. Okay, let's cut the video here. Before we forget, I forgot to show you the TSM Task List. So when you queue a profession and you go to gathering, you have to select your crafter. Sometimes when you, like we got 4 accounts linked together with TSM. So we have to decide who the crafter is. You can have multiple alchemists just for doing the cooldowns. You open the TSM Task List and it will show you which ones you still need to do or you have available. So the explosive ones is here, the bag of anchors is still in here. I have to do this one. The other ones from BFA are in here. We got the ones from Draenor, we have one for Northrend. All of these cooldowns will be listed here for any profession. That also means for leatherworking you have one in BFA where you use your skins and you make like this, I don't know, living bladder or something, or sack of skins, and after 7 days it will turn into a pet. It's very cheap. The pet is usually going for around 500 gold, and the materials going into this, if you farm like for half an hour, you can make this pet for like a few months. So don't forget, these easy cooldowns are determine the price of the item, not except for a few older expansions, like we saw the primals Primal Earth is easy to farm, so that's why the transmute is ending up cheaper instead of more expensive, because it's easy to farm. But for the newer ones, the transmutes are really determining how cheap something can be or how expensive it could be, especially for things like that Arcanite bars, True Gold stuff, Elementium Ignat, that kind of stuff. So use these transmutes in your advantage, and you might be lucky and get multiple items by a single transmute. So with that said, let's get back to the outro of the video. So have fun making all that gold, and I will see you in another episode. Bye bye.